acid on my synthetic skin. Just another shadow in the neon glow of New San Francisco's cyborg district. Hard to believe I used to look down on this place from the gleaming upper levels. A botched job. One mistake. I can still remember her face when she got the call.
Is he? Oh, God.
More machine than the man she married. Doc Weber told me I should be grateful.
Miracle you're still with us. Those cybernetic enhancements, they're cutting edge. You should be grateful.
But at what cost for this miracle? My own reflection. A stranger. A perfect freak for the jobs nobody else wants. Just like Pike.
This district calls to you, doesn't it? We're built for this. Embrace it, brother.
I never wanted to follow you, Pike. But here I am, walking in your augmented footsteps. This investigation. It's personal. With each upgrade, I can feel myself fading, becoming less human. Less of the man I used to be. But I'd give up the rest of my flesh, my very humanity, if it meant catching this psycho. There's no turning back. The truth is out there waiting in the acid rain, and I will find it. I descend into the grimy underground of Amptown, my coat collar flipped against the rain. This is where the dregs and cast-offs of society end up, the ones not quite human enough for the glittering city above. Signs blink erratically, casting everything in flickering neon hues. My first stop is Belinda's Body Shop, my go-to gear supplier. Belinda's an artifact from before the Silicon Plague ravaged the city, leaving few organics unscathed. Now her shop's a black market hub, peddling illegal bioware and contraband tech. The doors hiss open, and a wave of moisture and incense drapes over me. Belinda raises a painted eyebrow as I enter.
Back so soon, Lumpkin. Burn through your upgrades already. Or are you getting obsessed like your brother?
I clench my jaw, suppressing a surge of anger. She doesn't know the first thing about Pike or me. I'm not here for the usual wares today, Belinda. I need some serious hardware if I'm going to take down this Ripper. Show me what you've got. Belinda eyes me warily, then beckons me over to a reinforced vault door. It slides open with a hiss, revealing an arsenal of illegal cyber weaponry. My gaze is drawn to a menacing matte black railgun affixed to the wall.
That Zap Cannon 6000 will punch a hole clean through a Class 4 security mech. Don't leave home without one.
Tempting, but not exactly subtle. Belinda grins and leads me over to a display of sleek, subdermal micro-daggers, each one loaded with neurotoxin. Maybe something with a little more precision.
Now you're speaking my language. These mantis blades deploy from your forearms. Perfect for close encounters.
I select a set of the blades along with a Zap Knuckles stun module and a Kevlar weave armored trench coat to conceal it all. With these and my trusty shotgun, I should be ready for just about anything.
You look like shit, Lumpkin. Here, take this.
Belinda hands me a dark vial of chrome. It's a vial of dark green liquid the color of swamp water. Makes an augment feel like they just came out of the factory, for a time anyways. I hold onto it tighter than I probably should, but relief is relief when the demons come. Belinda tallies up my selections with a satisfied smirk.
Going hunting, Lumpkin?
You could say that. Now what intel do you have about the Ripper? Any black market gear popping up? Belinda's expression darkens. She lowers her voice.
You're chasing shadows. If a real rogue harvester is out there, you'll bring death to us all. The vigilantes will ignite the streets hunting your
I don't have a choice. This freak is picking off my people. All 5 killed were my CIs. I could be next. I have to arm up to be prepared. Belinda sighs and shakes her head.
I hope you know what you're stirring up. Watch your back out there. Here, take this. I trust you will know when to use it. And Lumpkin, keep my name out of this.
Will do. I step back out into the rain, her ominous warning lingering. If the vigilantes get involved, this could spark an all-out cyber war in the back alleys. But stopping this killer is my only priority now. I clench my fist, the micro dagger sliding out with oiled precision. Let him come for me. I'll be ready. I'm jolted awake by a call pinging through my neural interface, my head pounding from another night drowned in synth whiskey. Empty bottles clatter off the bed as I sit up, the stale smell of booze and narcotic smoke clinging to me like a hangover cocoon. The room spins for a moment before my optics calibrate. Another day in this neon hell. The call is patched through. Another Ripper victim found carved up, discarded like trash in some grimy back alley.
Tired of smudgy screens and dirty devices? Grab Shine Max. One swipe and your screens are crystal clear. Shine Max, the future's...
Authorities have linked the serial Ripper to at least 7 similar incidents over the past month. The exact motive behind these attacks is yet to be determined. However, initial investigations suggest a possible black market connection, where these augments fetch high prices.
The crime scene is a vivisectionist's wet dream. The Vic shredded and stripped down to flesh and bone with cruel precision. Whoever this psycho is, they know their way around a humanoid chassis. The victim's vacant eyes stare up at me, a silent plea for justice or vengeance. Examining the carcass, the work looks surgical, marking removed with expert precision. The bioscanner indicates high-end ocular and muscular implants extracted while leaving the body cavity intact. This was done by someone with serious augment surgeon skills. I spot concentric bruising patterns on the remaining flesh. Looks like some kind of clamp or vise was used to hold the Vic in place during the operation. Could be a custom rig. I'll have Belinda run schematics, see if anything matches. My head is still swimming as I scan the gruesome scene, inhaling the metallic stench of blood and oil. The craving starts soon after. Need something to steady my nerves after seeing this nightmare. But it will have to wait. I force myself to focus through the headache, threatening to crack my skull open. Time to get to work. Gonna need more than my usual vices to drown out an image like this. As CSU sweeps the scene, I step into a side alley to clear my head. The vial of Chrome Dream I scored from Belinda's shop helps take the edge off. The narcotic streams through my circuits, synthetic endorphins dulling the horror I just witnessed. I know it's a crutch, but if it keeps me sane enough to catch this psycho, it's a necessary evil.
Hey, I got something over here. He's got something in his mouth. It looks like he's got a taste bite port. Haven't seen one of these in years.
What in the hell is that?
It's a data port they install under your tongue. Usually it's a prison install. You can't trust anyone when you're on the inside. Imagine you're sleeping and just one of the other 5 guys in your cell decide to grab one of your memory chips. They could be done within seconds and you would be none the wiser. So they get these ports installed. Much harder to steal your chip if they have to pry your mouth open to get at it.
You're new, aren't you? The officer finished prying the port out of the mouth of the victim, a mess of wires, blood, and a fading, blinking light. Hopefully this leads somewhere.
New in this district. Been wanting to join the crime scene unit for years, but in Uptown you gotta wait for someone to retire or die. You guys lost one here a couple of weeks ago, and I got lucky.
That's 'cause Ben got dead. They never last long around here. Ben was a good one. Good catch. None of the regular guys seem to give a shit anymore. They just show up to collect the bodies. Haven't had anyone find anything useful in years. Name's Lumpkin.
Wolford, good to meet you.
Likewise. Let's see what you found. Slotting it into my neural port, a video file opens showing the Ripper mid-surgery on a squirming victim, though the face is kept out of frame. The audio is garbled and distorted. The distorted audio clip replays in my mind as I make my way through the decaying streets, following the coordinates to the latest victim.
Send a machine. Man's job.
Whoever this killer is, they seem to relish mocking me, but their arrogance may be their undoing. I descend a grimy staircase into the gloomy Undercity, a maze of twisting alleys and dead ends. Down here, any sense of law and order fades away, leaving only the fringe and forgotten. Turning a corner, I spot the dumped body behind a row of rusted industrial fans. I crouch down, examining the mutilated corpse. The remaining flesh is bruised and ruptured around the surgical ripping points. So much trauma, even with a precise hand. Hopefully this grim scene holds the clues I need to catch this monster before I end up on the slab next. The killer's taunts make it clear I'm running out of time. The cuts are too clean for a junkie looking to score spare parts. This was someone with surgical experience. Maybe one of the illegal body mod chop shops the Glyphs run in the Undercity. Detective Royce sees me scanning the body and sneers.
Back off, Tin Man. We'll handle it.
I stand up and block his path as he attempts to leave. Like hell you will. Your handlers at the Glyphs are clearly behind this and you're running protection for them.
Get out of my way, you freak! The Glyphs aren't involved in your rogue scrap killings.
We stare each other down, hands hovering over our weapons. We both know Royce needs me gone before his corrupt links come to light. One day the truth will come out, Royce. But for now it's your crime scene. I stand down, letting him pass. Royce takes bribes from the Glyphs to ignore their activities. He won't risk upsetting them. I've hit a dead end for now. But the Glyphs dominate the black market for illegal cyberware here. If they're not behind this, they'll know who is. Time to rattle some cages and see what the Syndicate's hiding. But getting answers won't be easy. The relentless rain hisses and pops overhead as I make my way through grimy back alleys to the hidden underground Glyph Club. This part of the city is their turf, where they run their off-the-books body mod chop shops and broker all sorts of blacklisted items. The dangerous stuff too, real nasty. The Glyphs are rumored to be behind some of the most horrific cyber harvesting crimes in New San Francisco's history. Ritualistic dismantlings of augmented civilians in their basements, leaving only ruined husks of flesh. If the stories are true, then I'm walking into the lion's den. But it's a risk I have to take. I descend a staircase into a damp tunnel, with synth bass vibrating the walls. The walls are plastered with holographic glyph tags denoting their territory. Armored bouncers give me icy glares as I enter the club's vault-like doors. Inside, it's a sea of gyrating chrome and neon, augmented gangsters leering as I cut through the lurid crowd. Drake, a high-ranking lieutenant, spots me approaching. His cybernetic optics flash red. for now they seem to want to talk first. But if the whispers about the glyphs are true, then this den of killers could turn on me in a second's notice.
Lumpkin. Got a lot of nerve showing your face here.
I think you know why I'm here, Drake. The amp job ripper carving up augmentations. I need answers. Drake's robotic optics flash as his cronies surround us. I brace for an attack that doesn't come. Yet.
Rumor is, you think one of our body mod chop shops is harvesting your people. I'll say it plain. The glyphs run clean. This ain't our style.
He gets in my face, anger palpable despite his emotionless chrome features.
Whoever your Ripper is, he's dangerous. Closer to you than you may think. I'd watch your back if I were you, Lumpkin.
Drake's thinly veiled warning hangs in the air even as I make my way back above ground. The glyphs won't admit anything, but they're clearly scared of this unseen Ripper prowling the Undercity. This case is creeping closer by the day. I need a stiff drink to calm my wired nerves. Synth whiskey doesn't hit my modified insides the same way, but it still provides relief from obsessive thoughts. The cravings are getting worse lately. Booze used to be an escape, now it feels like a crutch. But I'll take whatever I can get. Neon signs flicker erratically as I enter the Iron Cross, making straight for the bar. The grimy regulars eye my exposed augmented chassis, but I don't care. I just need a drink. Tonight, I'll take whatever information I can get from these bottom feeders, as long as it comes with a glass of something strong.
We don't serve your kind here.
I suppress a surge of anger. Of course, a knockoff hole like this discriminates against amp jobs. So much for drowning the voices tonight. I'm here for a chat with Mallory.
She's busy. Beat it, Tin Man.
I slam my badge on the counter and slide my hand back to my pistol. I wasn't asking, asshole. The bartender scowls. He jerks his head towards a shadowy booth in the back, where a pale woman sits, her eyes glinting with implanted lenses. Hey, you got any neurosoothes? The large man shakes his head slowly, clearly afraid to piss me off any further.
I do, sir.
A man a few feet away from me down the bar offers me some smokes from his pack. Thank you, friend. What are you drinking?
Neuronectar Bliss.
Looking at the bartender, I gesture towards the man. A drink for my new friend here. The bartender grabs a bottle from the bottom shelf. The bottle swirls of greens and blues just looking at it, and you can tell it's going to be one hell of a hangover. As the bartender gets a glass out, I reach over and grab the bottle from him. I pour a couple of shots worth for the man sitting next to me. I head towards the booth with bottle in hand and take a nice long drink before I slide into the booth across from her. My nerves are frayed, but I can feel that drink already beginning to ease them. The burn slowly starts to make it to my extremities, and the sweet relief settles in.
You certainly know how to make an entrance, Detective.
You certainly know about hospitality. You still dip your fingers into the shadows of Amptown, whispers down wires and all that.
I hear you're digging deep for this killer, Lumpkin. Sure you want to unravel things that can't be undone? Your brother never could leave well enough alone either.
My brother never knew what was good for him and only did things for himself. I'm only doing this to survive. God knows I've made this psychos list.
I've heard of the harvestings, and I may know something. For the right price, of course.
I push a stack of credits forward, and there's a harvester carving augments out of amp jobs. 5 victims so far, all my CIs. I need leads before I end up part of the body count. Mallory pockets the credits with a sly smile.
I'll let you know if I catch wind of your Ripper. Though it's not just street docs getting twitchy. Word is even the corps are on high alert.
I need this information yesterday, Mal. I've always treated you fairly. That coin isn't for nothing. Get it today. My guts churn at the implication. This might be more than just a lone psycho. but I can't afford Mallory knowing how deep this could go. I slide out of the booth and turn to leave when a voice stops me. Detective Lumpkin, a word. I turn to see a stocky man in a long coat, his face obscured in shadow. He beckons me to follow him to a darker corner of the bar. Every instinct tells me to refuse, but curiosity wins out. We sit at a grimy table.
Here you're looking for a madman, a real artist, one carving up your kind.
Who are you?
It's not important. What's important to you right now isn't who I am, but what I know. One thing I can say is I know about all of the victims having ocular implants ripped out of them. Sure, other things were taken, but the eyes, they were taken from each one.
I need something that wasn't in everybody's news feed this morning. Something that will help me put this guy down. The man leans forward, voice barely a whisper.
Victims all had ocular implants extracted. Most of them were high-grade mil-spec optics, not your standard civilian models, thermals and the like. The type that can see sound waves, can pick out where you're standing in a room just by the sounds you make. The real elite gear, real exclusive clientele.
I suppress a shudder. This Ripper is surgically precise, not some back-alley amateur. And a client list for those rare optics. Whatever or whoever they are, it can't be good. All right, you've piqued my interest. What's your price for the rest?
Not here. 2 in the open. Meet me at midnight at the old steel foundry. Come along.
Before I can respond, the man vanishes into the crowd. I pound the table in frustration. Even with the new lead, I'm still plunging blindly ahead. But if I don't keep digging, this whack job will keep carving. And I can't shake Mallory's warning.
The corps are tracking this too.
I step outside and light a cigarette, savoring the bitter smoke before heading home. I'll need rest before meeting the guy that's probably setting me up. And my arsenal of upgrades from Belinda's when it turns out that I was right. As I walk, the neon lights flicker erratically. Night again in New San Francisco. The perpetual cycle. Rain drips down my trench coat as I make my way through the decaying streets towards the old foundry. Any sense of humanity or wholesomeness drained from this place long ago, leaving just the neon glow. You could turn the power off down there and I think that glow would stay. My fingertips brush the illegal hardware tucked in my coat, courtesy of Belinda's stash. A little bit of bargaining power, ready to deploy. Might be walking into a trap tonight. Can't be too cautious. This part of the city never recovered after the crashes of '45. The market collapse, the Silicon Plague, Civil War. Just left the casualties to rot in abandoned brownstones, while the corpse rose higher in their glittering spires. Now it's a haven for hustlers, hacktivists, and anti-corporate raiders looking to even the score. My enhanced limbs don't tire, but it's my soul that feels weary, trying to cling to fraying strands of a humanity that slips further away with each passing day. I barely feel anything now aside from rage and bitterness, slowly calcifying what's left of my heart. But I force myself to soldier on. This hunt is about more than just justice now. It's about proving I'm still a man, not just a machine masquerading in flesh. These tunnels are a hive now for the fringe and forgotten, street art sprawling on every surface, angry fists raised against corporate logos, cybernetic phoenixes rising from the ashes. As I near the coordinates, I spot the foundry's abandoned structure looming ahead. The windows are shattered, any valuable materials stripped away by scavengers. The perfect spot for an ambush. I slip inside, vision auto switching to infrared. The rain hisses and pops on the corroded metal roof overhead. Rust flakes drift down as I pass the grinders and presses abandoned midwork. The acrid stench of chemicals still lingers beneath the musty decay. The foundry interior is a maze of rusted machinery and cobwebbed corners, endless places for someone to hide. I'm here. Step out so we can talk business. My demand echoes metallically through the foundry. For several moments, only silence responds. Then footsteps sound from one of the overhead catwalks. A wiry silhouette leans over the railing, face still obscured by shadows. My infrared illuminates his augmented frame.
You came alone?
Just me and the roaches. Now what do you know about the Ripper? I've seen the victim patterns. My informants carved up and left as empty husks. It's a purge aimed right at my operation. Maybe an old grudge, someone settling scores. So talk fast before I get bored. Tell me what you know so I can stop this freak.
Impatient, aren't we? As a show of good faith, I'll tell you this for free. I know who the next victim will be.
This reeks of bait. The cravings are screaming now. My hands shake just a bit. I need a drink or a hit of something badly. But it will have to wait. Yeah? Who's the unlucky bastard? The man steps forward into a sliver of moonlight. My ocular implants instantly recognize his scarred face.
You really haven't figured it out? The next target is you, brother.
It's Pike, my estranged brother. Half his body is crude chrome and iron after taking shrapnel on duty, one of the first AMP jobs back before streamlined biomech was available. He doesn't consider himself one of us freaks, though. Sees his mods as necessity, not augmentation. His parts are utilitarian compared to my sleek, high-tech enhancements. To him, I'm just a lab experiment, more machine than man now. His remaining flesh eye bores into me with contempt. Alarm klaxons blare in my mind. I back away, reaching for my handgun. You never could resist getting your hands dirty, but carving up your own kind, Pike. Your own brother. Why? What's the endgame? Pike's smile is serrated chrome.
Come now. You know I've always enjoyed tinkering. As for why, let's just say I have exclusive clientele with expensive tastes. All those shiny implants you amp freaks flaunt. Worth a fortune on the black market.
And you expect me to just let you rip me apart next? Think again, brother. I raise my pistol, but Pike is faster and moved behind cover. A shotgun blast roars from the shadows, shredding my synthetic shoulder as I dive behind a rusted crane for cover. Pike's laughter echoes above me.
Make this easy, brother. My client paid triple for your optics and reinforced chassis. You're a premium set of parts. Though I'm going to miss our little family reunions.
Footsteps clang on the gangways, closing in. I prime a micro-grenade and roll it towards the sound. An explosion shakes the building, and the footsteps stagger back. I bolt from my hiding spot, ducking behind machinery while loading another explosive. Have to be smart. Pike still has the upper hand. A blast detonates nearby, puncturing a steam pipe that obscures everything in scalding vapor. Blind, I switch to my thermals and spot two heat signatures ahead of me. I fire at their center mass. One down. There goes the other. A searing pain suddenly lances through my thigh as a heated blade stabs from behind. I cry out and twist away, sensors warning of ruptured circuitry. I fall onto one of the bodies by the door. Pike drops and rushes towards me, brandishing a heated machete, his partially chromed face leering. He's enjoying this.
Send a machine. Do a man's job.
He slashes again, but I catch his wrist, metal creaking as we grapple. With my free hand, I grab my shotgun. Pike's eye widens as I jam the barrel against his power core and fire. Brother. The explosion destroys the entire right side of his head in a shower of sparks and flesh. I push the twitching, sparking body off me as oil and blood drip from the mangled mess. With half of his face missing, I see that Pike has one of those damn ports under his tongue. Time being of the essence, I ripped it out and started to move. Warning messages flash across my vision as Pike's ambushes close in. Now there's just two nameless thugs between me and the truth. I stagger up and prime my last gift from Belinda. I prime the military-grade pulse striker that Belinda slipped me earlier. 500 amps of lightning ready to fry anything in my path. But all that juice has to drain from somewhere. My augmented core. One shot from this beast and my synth parts shut down cold. Just dead weight. I spot a cluster of Pike's thugs closing in fast. No more time. I hoist up the striker and pull the triggers. White-hot lightning erupts forth, dropping the entire group instantly. But as soon as it discharges, all my implants and upgrades blink out. My augmentations fried, I slump on the foundry steps leaking oil and blood. Internal warnings blare, hydraulics ruptured, circuits failing. Pike's reinforcements stalk the machinery, intent on finishing me off. With my last shred of strength, I send a desperate ping to the only cop who might help, then wait. Tires screech outside, footsteps pound closer through the shadows, and a figure rounds the corner, gun raised. My foggy vision can't make him out.
Lumpkin. Shit. Hang on.
Wolford rushes over and puts pressure on my wounds. Wolford, how did you...
I was already en route when you pinged. Got a tip from Belinda where you were headed. Sounded sketchy, so I hauled ass over. Lucky for you, I did.
Wolford's voice echoes distantly as darkness closes in. But I cling to it, a lifeline pulling me back from the brink. The biodrive stays clenched in my weakened fist. We'll crack it open together once I'm stable, exposing these corporate freaks for good. Who's really pulling the strings? What megacorp is bankrolling the illegal surgeries? How high does the rot spread through the city's veins? Getting somewhere safe is priority one, but the blood trail won't end here. I have to keep following it, down into the shadows where the predators hide behind cold smiles and handshakes. For now, the wolves still prowl, seeking fresh prey. But with this drive, I can finally start dragging the monsters into the light. Justice won't come easy for the victims already lost. But if I want any humanity left when this is over, I have to keep chasing the truth, no matter how deep the corruption runs in this wretched city. The answers are out there, soaked in oil and blood, and I won't stop digging until I find them.
Well, team, no rest for the wicked. Our next job awaits.
Come on, Captain. Can't we relax for one night?
Wish we could, but you know trouble never rests in these parts.
We should lay low for now. No need to stir up any more attention.
What if I make sure all our stealth tech is primed before our next job? I bet we could slip right past their security.
You know I'm always ready to scramble some imp sensor systems whenever you give the word, Captain.
All valid points, my friends. Let's just say Havoc may have a delicate operation ahead that will require both stealth and creativity. 2 pictures of your house, special, please.
Sure thing.
Ha! Now you're speaking my language. Subtle as a Trumback stampede. That's my style.
Steady, big fella. All will be revealed in due time. For now, rest up and prepare. When opportunity strikes, we must be ready to seize it with boldness and skill.
Here's hoping our boldness doesn't lead us straight into an Imperial ambush. But I know there's no stopping you once you've got that twinkle in your eye.
You know me too well, Alara.
What's that beeping?
Stay tuned next week for an adventure I think you'll find quite explosive.
Did we pay for these?
See you next week.